Welcome to First Century Dating Decoded, the official Speed Mingle Podcast. I am your host, Don, and I am pleased you have joined us once again to explore the complex, fascinating, and often bewildering domain of modern romantic relationships. Today, Saturday the 1st of January 2026, the dating environment is undergoing a profound, almost seismic transformation. The era of subtle courtship, measured development, and a gradual getting-to-know-you period has been superseded. We now reside in a climate characterized by immediate judgments, definitive declarations, and dating perspectives that are more divisive and intensely debated than ever before. This environment is rapid and demanding, certainly not dull, but it is fundamentally altering the approach to forming connections. Accordingly, this episode will provide an in-depth analysis of a cultural phenomenon I have termed the dawn of hot-take dating, redefining modern romance in 2026. What precisely constitutes hot-take dating? It is an influential cultural pattern where swift, emphatic, and frequently provocative opinions, the variety that often achieves viral status on social media, are actively dictating dating decisions, establishing partner expectations, and even reshaping entire relationship dynamics. This extends beyond mere individual preferences. It involves the public assertion of categorical, non-negotiable positions on subjects ranging from initial date decorum and text message frequency to financial obligations and long-term commitment timelines. The essential premise is that a compelling, often unconventional take has become a central component of an individual's dating persona and profile. In this thorough exploration, we will investigate the implications of this phenomenon for those genuinely seeking authentic relationships. We will examine the concerning proliferation of unpopular opinions that are being utilized as immediate disqualifiers, the type of superficial criteria that filter out potentially compatible partners before a second conversation can commence. We will address the difficulty of maintaining composure and perspective when the prevalent dating discourse appears to be an incessant loop of disputes concerning the correct and incorrect ways to date. Specifically, we shall discuss how the architecture of social media, with its algorithms favoring controversy and definitive statements, perpetuates this trend, fostering echo chambers of dating doctrine. We will analyze whether these prematurely strong, uncompromising opinions are ultimately beneficial or detrimental to our collective pursuit of compatible partners. Crucially, I will offer my practical, actionable guidance on how to navigate the pervasive noise, preserve your individual viewpoint, and concentrate on establishing a meaningful, sustainable relationship within this high-pressure context. Prior to delving into the analysis of hot takes, a brief but vital reminder: please ensure your registration for our forthcoming Speed Mingle events at thespeedmingle.com. This represents an opportunity to apply these dating insights in a real-world setting, bypassing digital interactions to meet individuals face-to-face. We encourage your attendance and participation at our events in order to put some spark in your social life. We now commence our discussion. The advent of the hot take is upon us, and whether agreeable or not, it is fundamentally modifying the nature of human connection. First encounters in the year 2026 are increasingly characterized by an immediate dive into substantive, often contentious subjects, largely eschewing conventional pleasantries. When a first date involves the in-depth discussion of climate policy, the necessity of prenuptial agreements, or the ethical considerations of contemporary capitalism prior to the arrival of the appetizer, one is likely engaging in hot-take dating, the most assertive and rigorous new relationship paradigm to emerge in the current era. This rapidly accelerating trend, which gained significant traction in early 2026, represents a major, intentional departure from the slow-burn relational development model prevalent in previous decades. Instead of dedicating weeks or months to carefully navigating sensitive topics and gently testing relational boundaries, contemporary singles are prioritizing the disclosure of their most candid, deeply held convictions. This serves as an immediate, high-stakes assessment of compatibility. The core objective is to rapidly identify potential deal-breakers and establish fundamental value alignment before any significant emotional investment is incurred. Efficiency over etiquette. The obsolescence of the talking stage. The principal catalyst for this shift is best described as emotional efficiency. Daters are experiencing considerable vibe check burnout and are increasingly reluctant to dedicate months of time, energy, and cognitive resources to a situationship, only to ultimately uncover a fundamental, irreconcilable divergence in political, religious, or core value systems. The frustration arising from delayed discovery has instigated a widespread demand for radical transparency from the initial point of contact. Relationship expert Sonal Kangarat notes, daters no longer possess the emotional bandwidth required to, quote, wait and see. They are proactively safeguarding their emotional well-being by immediately seeking clarity on a potential partner's core moral values, thus avoiding the realization of a terminal mismatch 6 months later when emotional entanglement is profound. Recent data unequivocally validate this trend toward early, rigorous screening. A contemporary industry analysis indicated that a substantial 37% of single individuals now regard shared fundamental values not merely as an advantage, but as an essential non-negotiable prerequisite from the outset. More strikingly, 41% of surveyed individuals explicitly refuse to initiate a dating relationship with someone holding opposing hardline political stances, signifying that certain ideological lines have become entirely insurmountable. The trivial debate concerning, quote, pineapple on pizza is now definitively superseded. The contemporary hot takes are focused exclusively on high-stakes, relationship-defining deal-breakers such as political hardlines, long-term career aspirations, philosophies regarding financial autonomy, social governance, and life-planning logistics. The peril of the confrontational approach. While proponents enthusiastically laud the time-saving and emotionally protective benefits of this rapid filter methodology, critics caution that the introduction of an overly extreme or polarizing viewpoint too early can function as a catastrophic vibe killer. Presenting deeply controversial or uncompromising views prematurely may convey an impression of rigidity, undue aggression, or premature confrontational behavior before any genuine interpersonal rapport has the opportunity to materialize. Dating Coaches advises, there is a delicate distinction between being transparent about one's unwavering values and presenting an exhaustive list of non-negotiable demands. If a first date is immediately treated as a televised debate or an ideological proving ground, one risks prematurely filtering out an otherwise highly compatible match who simply required time and consideration to articulate their own nuanced perspective. A crucial caveat: the mode of delivery is paramount to success. Hot take dating is optimally utilized to identify dynamic common ground on core values, not to transform a first date into a competitive ideological confrontation. It functions as a tool for alignment, not alienation. Strategies for executing the hot take trend effectively. For those prepared to adopt the immediate high-stakes nature of this trend, the objective is to employ polarizing prompts as an efficient, sophisticated filtering mechanism, successfully attracting individuals who share a foundational worldview while politely but firmly deterring those who do not. Experts recommend 3 inviolable principles for successfully navigating hot take dating. Prioritize core values over trivialities. A comprehensive understanding of the hierarchy of importance is essential. A hot take regarding cilantro's flavor profile constitutes a playful diversion. A hot take concerning child-rearing philosophies, commitment to social justice, or the ethical imperative of a prenup represents a fundamental value. Discern the difference and utilize the high-stakes takes judiciously. Actively solicit a response. It is crucial to frame one's opinion as a personal perspective rather than an absolute, unchallengeable truth. Employ invitational language. I have always maintained that, as it aligns with my personal philosophy. What is your experience or primary counter-argument to this viewpoint? Evaluate the reaction. The subject matter of the disagreement is frequently less revealing than the manner in which an individual articulates their opposition to the hot take. How they present their opposing view, with curiosity, respectful inquiry, or immediate disdain, often provides greater insight into compatibility and character than the disagreement itself. The era of the blank slate dating profile is concluded. The hot take is the new, definitive digital handshake, offering an immediate and substantive window into the potential partner's inner world. Drafting effective hot take profile prompts. To facilitate confident engagement with this trend, structured examples categorized by the primary relational aspect or vibe one seeks to project and test are provided. The value-based filter, the deep diver, focuses on matching worldviews, moral alignment, and lifestyle non-negotiables. Hot take. Remote work should not be viewed merely as a flexible employment perk. It is a non-negotiable philosophical lifestyle choice. A failure to inherently prioritize locational autonomy over the perceived security of a centralized office environment will lead to profound logistical difficulties in planning our midweek recreational and international life. Hot take. The characteristic of being merely nice is vastly overstated. Authentic kindness is paramount. I prioritize a partner who is forthright regarding their feelings and intentions, but possesses a genuine, demonstrated heart of gold, over one who is habitually polite, yet chronically passive-aggressive. The lifestyle and habits, the daily life mesh, determines the seamless integration of daily routines, energy levels, and personal boundaries. Hot take. Sunday is strictly designated for high-intensity, intentional activity, not for resetting or listless recuperation. If one is not engaged in physical exertion, intellectual pursuit, or active contribution to a goal by midday, the functional existence of the weekend is questionable. Hot take. Phone-free dinners and entire evenings represent the only viable path to authentic connection. If the persistent social media notification or the routine TikTok scroll constitutes a standard component of one's appetizer ritual, I will likely be unable to sustain the requisite attention. The low-stakes debate. The icebreaker test. superficially playful, yet designed to reveal how an individual manages minor disagreements and self-advocacy. Hot take. The practice of sharing a single dessert at a restaurant is a fabricated romantic ideal. I desire my own perfect portion of cheesecake, and advocate that you should have yours. The comprehension and enforcement of clear personal boundaries is significantly more critical than forced communal consumption. Hot take. The absolute most enjoyable and stress-free component of travel is the 4 a.m. wake-up call, which ensures our arrival at the airport 3 hours in advance. Experiencing stress and running through the gate is a preventable choice, not an endearing personality trait. Professional tip for profile construction. Always follow the assertive statement with a concise, personal rationale explaining why this perspective is held, and conclude with a direct, conversational invitation such as, "Persuade me otherwise," or "What is the deepest, most polarizing conviction you are prepared to defend unequivocally?" This structure provides a potential match with an immediate, high-quality mechanism to initiate a conversation that bypasses superficial small talk. The contemporary romantic environment is undergoing a profound transformation, heralded by the emergence of hot-take dating. The modern dater, circa 2026, is characterized by swift, unequivocal self-expression, employing firmly held beliefs, or hot takes, as a personal navigational tool. This paradigm shift prioritizes authentic self-discovery and the identification of a partner whose core values and passion are in congruence with one's own, rather than universal appeal. These stated positions function as the new parameters, the established values, and the most efficacious path towards substantive connection. Just a brief moment to talk about Speed Mingle before we wrap up this week's episode of 21st Century Dating Decoded. Speed Mingle is the efficient frontier of intentional connection. Speed Mingle is strategically positioned at the vanguard of this new era, providing the efficient frontier for deliberate relationship formation. Our platform guides users beyond indiscriminate swiping by offering diverse asset classes for relational investment, thereby mitigating risk and maximizing opportunities for meaningful relationships. Speed Mingle is currently redefining digital courtship through the deployment of 4 distinct, purposeful, and efficient modalities. Speed Mingle Anywhere, currently available, facilitates authentic, face-to-face video interactions from the user's private setting, thus overcoming the intrinsic limitations of anonymous swiping. Speed Mingle Social, launching this week in select markets, offers relaxed, non-hosted weekly gatherings at established local venues to encourage spontaneous, informal connection. Speed Mingle Happenings, in-person events currently available in your area. These are meticulously curated, dynamic, activity-based events designed to cultivate natural engagement without dependence on conventional superficial conversation. Speed Mingle 1-to-1, scheduled for launch in spring 2026, provides personalized, low-pressure meetings with local singles whose pre-vetted interests ensure an efficient trajectory toward foundational compatibility. By providing a tailored strategy for every dating preference, ranging from premier online platforms and curated events to spontaneous gatherings and personalized meetings, we ensure that users do not over-concentrate their emotional investments in a singular approach. A successful relational portfolio is invariably predicated upon intentionality and genuine connection. We thank you for joining us for this essential installment of 21st Century Dating Decoded, the official Speed Mingle podcast. Please continue the discourse and share your perspectives on hot take dating by directing correspondence to the Speed Mingle at hrbuni.net. Headphone listen and subscribe today. Ensure you do not miss an episode. Stream now via the provided link https://linktr.ee/21st_century_dating_decoded. Join me next week for an episode dedicated to the anti-algorithm approach, finding love off the scroll, where we will examine strategies for cultivating deeper initial connections in the physical world.